Call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. And John, you're COVID free, so we'll have you do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Like to welcome everybody tonight. We're on YouTube. We have a full agenda. So the first item of business will be to approve the minutes of the January 13th, 2021 meeting. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make it.
Rich? Second? Donnie? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next will be the public hearing on the 2021 EMS contract. And I'll ask the clerk to read the notice.
Public notice. The town of Warrensburg will hold a public hearing on February, no date, to be determined, for the town hall of Warrensburg, New York, for the purpose of the hearing of public comments on community needs for the town, and to discuss the possible submission of one community development block grant. Am I reading the wrong thing?
No, that's not it.
That's it? Okay. I'll now open a public hearing on the 2021 EMS contract. Corey Olet is here to answer any questions. The contract is going up to $75,000 this year, which we greatly appreciate the efforts and the work of the Warrensburg EMS. They do a fine job. Does any of the board members have any questions for Corey on the 2021 EMS contract?
No, every hour contract, and like I said, we try to have to do every year, and I thought it's well deserved to go forward with the contract.
Brian?
No,
Anything? Donnie?
No.
Rich? Any questions? Anybody from the public, zeroing in? No. Okay. I'll keep this open for a little bit. We'll go through our agenda. Report of officers. You want to read your report? Yeah, we'll do the officers' reports.
Clerk's monthly report, marriage licenses is $35, photocopies and faxes of $4.50, certified copies of $220, landfill fees and punch cards, $11,116, short-term rentals of $1,500, dog licensing of $208, building permits $176.50, septic permits $25, total local remittance $13,285.
Okay. Supervisor's report for the month of January. Total monies on hand, $2,937,714.67. Assessor's report.
Assessors, review of new construction and other partial changes within the town over the past year is currently underway. The upcoming 2021 tentative roles. Initial analysis of sales over the past few years tend to indicate residential property values in Warrensburg, as well as neighboring towns, have been on the increase. As such, it's possible that this year's rate will be similar to 2020 and not at 100%. There'll be a virtual meeting with the Office of Real Property Tax Services this month to discuss said sales and trends, the 2021 equalization rate. As of this writing, we have received a good number of senior citizens renewals.
Okay, Justice.
Justice report for January, Judge Fisk heard 89 cases, collected fines $7,128, fees $143, and surcharges of $3,748. Judge Kavanaugh heard 16 cases, collected fines of $690, fees of $70, surcharges of $427. Total new cases in January of 69. Total dollars received in January, $12,206. The town share for December, $8,916.75.
Okay, dog control, Donnie?
Dog control, he answered two anonymous calls. One was a possible neglect case on 28 Warren Street, and the other one was regarding 10 Cedar Lane, letting the dog run loose.
Planning, right?
I have no report here for that.
Oh, you didn't get it? No.
I got one here.
You have it, right?
There we go. septic and 3 land use development permits issued for the month of January. The planning board nor the zoning board have meetings this month due to lack of applications. The planning board will be reviewing a site plan application on March 2nd for the community solar farm at Hackensack Mountain, Lister Hill area.
Okay. And we'll go right into communications. We received a letter from Carol Sy. It's CYR. She sent us a note about how nice the Christmas lights were, and she thanks the town and all the employees who were responsible for them. And apparently, she drives through Warrensburg, and she's very happy with that. We received a report from New York State Department of Health with the 2021 sampling schedule for the operation of the water supply. Received communications from New York State Department of Transportation about the bridge replacement on County Route 11 over Interstate 87 and exit 24. Unfinished business. Resolution authorizing the sale of a parcel to Michael McKinney subject to 30-day permissive referendum. You have that. That's 11.23 acres up behind Mike's house up on Alden Avenue. Somebody want
I'll
to
make
make
that
that
resolution.
motion by John? Do we have a second? Second by Brian. Any discussion?
I'd like to make the comment that when this was first brought to the board, it was 5 acres, and it was increased to be presented now at almost 12 acres. And I'm a little concerned about how that came about. I've been up there to view the property, and I can understand why the gentleman wants to expand his perimeter. I just don't know that it's the correct way to go about parting off of properties that's owned by the town.
I think the first, when we said 5 acres was an estimation, and we were gonna go to the brook line, and once it was surveyed.
It was a survey.
The surveyor came in, and it just came in at a lot more space than we imagined originally, you know? And it's a price per acre, so it was, you know, easy math, you know?
Right.
But, it still was the same boundary that we had originally agreed on, just a guess.
It just, when they went and did the survey, when she asked me, and I said, yeah, go do the survey.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's pretty expensive, and that's why it increased.
So I need to ask just one other question. I looked at some comps myself, and 500 is close to what I came up with. It's a little lower than what I came up with, but the question, does that obligate us if somebody else wants to buy another parcel anywhere up on the properties that's owned by the town?
No.
At that same price?
No.
Okay,
This takes into account that this is a pretty rugged land, it's very little use other than just space for himself.
And again, there's no water and sewer infrastructure up there at all. Years ago, we tried to market that. It was right on that same number. That was lowballing us, trying to, you know, because you're a land for there for quite a while. So, and it's that dormant. No one was interested in buying it, so. But it's good protection for Mike.
And the only other thing I would add to that is it's already been logged off, so there's not a lot more value than it's what Mike would like to protect his property up there in the hills. So, any more discussions? Let's vote. We'll do a roll call vote. Pam, you want to call the roll? We'll do a roll call vote on this.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to do a roll call.
Okay, you just ask the names, how you,
Oh, okay. Adam Lane,
Aye.
Brian Round,
Aye.
John Allen,
Aye.
Chris Clark,
Kevin,
I'm going to abstain.
take.
aye. Okay,
Thank you.
motion, it passes, thanks.
Sorry.
Next, is there any other comments on YouTube about the EMS contract?
No.
All right, we'll close that we'll close the comments and close the public hearing on the EMS. Resolution request to approve the 2021 EMS contract in the amount of $75,000. Motion by John, do we have a second? Second by Donnie, any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Next, we have Corey here, discussion on working with Warrensburg EMS, the expansion of the headquarters on King Street. They would like to construct a 30 by 60 building to house their ambulances. I know we've talked about this a couple times. We have a conceptual drawing of what it would look like. We still haven't mapped out how much property they would need on towards the sand pile. I believe because of the walkway between the current property line and then moving towards to accommodate this building, I would say they would need approximately 40 to 45 feet going north from their present building, and they would like to keep the boundary lines the full distance of the lot to match up. Now, we own 5 parcels on King Street, and the way I looked at it on a map, I just kind of penciled it in. If anybody wants to look at it, I just kind of penciled it in, Brian. Here's the current building, that's what I think the proposed would be. Until we actually get it walked off and surveyed, and we all know how that would happen. It's my guesstimate, and Corey, we talked about it would be a guesstimate of approximately 40 feet. And then you see, there's the rest of the sand lot, there's the building, other buildings, and more buildings all the way up through.
All the way back to.
And it would go right to here. So,
So the road frontage on the actual building, 60 feet. The building itself would sit 20 feet approximately off the current structure that we have. So there would be a breezeway of approximately 20 feet. Then the building would start, that would go 60 feet. It would be 30 feet deep. So we haven't, we didn't know what the town's position was as far as obtaining the property. So once we got to this point, then we would be able to move forward with knowing the offsets and how much we would actually be looking at.
Just see that they get the priority, yeah, the kind of thing, move forward with that.
well, I spoke with Ed. We're not gonna use that lot. The sand pile sat on that lot. I would like to see us give a commitment to them so they can move ahead with something firm, that if we could give up X number of lot, and to have him bring in a measured plot plan to us at the next meeting, so we can move ahead. Now, that's why I got Corey here tonight to answer any questions. They don't wanna spend the money, any more money on it, unless we're gonna commit to working with them. My own personal opinion is they're gonna be here for the long haul. They're a valuable asset to the community, and whatever we can do to make this as easy on them as we can, I would say we should allow them to move ahead.
And if the day ever comes where a county-wide thing ever happens, Corey, the Warrensburg is gonna be essential as the central hub in Warren County, so it's gonna be a feather everybody's cap to enhance that building.
Right. So I mean, the goal of doing this project was to create a hub in the county for training. Right now, we have people going to Cambridge and other off places for EMT classes and things like that. They are holding them down now in Queensbury, at the Queensbury office in Mountain Lakes on Bay Road. But I mean, having this a separate structure for the ambulances will allow our current bays, if anybody's been there, you can see that where the garage doors are now. That would essentially be a training and meeting facility with additional parking in the back of the building. So we can hold, trainings and EMT classes and community-based CPR programs and things like that, which are just difficult for us to now because we don't have any space for it.
And I do think that it's the right thing to do, to partner up with them. I must say, they've been very good to us, and in this trying times, they performed admirably well. Anything we can do to lighten the load on the cost to them to get started on this, I think we should do. So my opinion is, I would like to make a motion that we do a commitment, that we would will what they need for this building to the Warrensburg EMS for $1. And that would be my motion, and then tentatively, I'm bringing us back good plans at the next meeting. But I would like to see us give him what he needs to put this building up for $1.
I'll second that, Kevin.
You second that. Any discussion? Anybody have a discussion?
I just wanna, make sure that whatever property we gives them, we sell them. We make sure that we include enough property for the setbacks. So if something happens on the northern parts of the property, the town continues on, that they've got the proper setbacks, and we don't shortchange them there.
Well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots.
So you're not talking about selling a whole lot to them.
No.
right?
We're talking about half of the one
The
of the
sand
first
pit
lot, the sand pit, the sand pile lot.
Half of it would be 60 feet.
Well, approximately 60 feet.
So that was given plenty of room for setbacks. I'm just,
Oh, yeah,
Technically, we
It's
should
10
do
feet.
a lot line adjustment and reform this and things that slow that. So it's easy enough in that regard.
it's 10 feet setback, is what Patty told me.
Sides, yeah.
10 feet from the side, 10 feet from the back. So that's my motion. We have a second. Any other discussion? Let's go. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Very good.
Move ahead, Cory.
Thank you guys very much, appreciate your support.
Congrats.
we appreciate the work you do.
Thank you.
So good to go?
We're done.
All right, you guys have a great night.
Yep, and just keep in contact with me.
Yeah, we will, yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. No comments from the, resolution to waive the 30-day fine, requirement for a liquor license application from Lotus Estate LLC on the bond 1786, and that is going to be, the former Merrill McGee, restaurant. It's now gonna be called the Bond 1786, and they would like, as far as this moves along, they would like to open mid-March. So somebody wanna make a motion to waive the 30-day wait? Motion by Donnie,
Second.
second by John to waive the 30-day waiting period. Any questions? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, carried. Resolution to raise the VFW rent at the museum building to $6,000 for this year. It's currently at $5,600. They came to me and asked, could they get a little bit of an increase this year and raise it from $5,600 to $4,000 for this year only? And then we will enter into a new lease with the VFW next year, probably with terms very similar to what we have. So can I have a motion to raise this year's rent to $6,000? Motion by Rich, second?
Sure.
Second by John. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you. Next, permission to hire Sylvia Van Gilder to work with the historian for up to 16 hours a week at a rate of $12 an hour. This would help out with cataloging many of the items from the John B. Thurman Historical Society, which was given to Warrensburg. Sandy has a mountain of work down there. She's been inundated with an amount of work. Also, she helps with the museum and with the passing of Steve Parisi. She could use the extra help, and it's time that we gave her a paid staff member. So somebody want to make a motion to approve it? Motion by Rich. Do we have a second? Second by Brian to approve this. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Second, I'd like permission to sit down with the historian and make a salary adjustment to her line also. She's taking on more duties, and I believe she's taking on more duties at the museum, or will be, even though they haven't found a director yet. So I would like your permission to sit down and negotiate a little higher salary. Motion by Rich,
Second.
second by John. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. We'll stay within our boundaries. Permission to support the Warrentown Ski Commission program at Gore Mountain. The total amount this year will be $423. Downey, want to address this? You did talk to Denise.
Yeah, I corresponded with Denise, and she has 4 skiers. The program got started off a little late,
Right.
but they're gonna go for 6 Sundays, and they get a 60-minute lesson and a day pass to ski, and she appreciates what the town support for that.
Also in your packet tonight is a public employer health emergency plan for the town of Warrensburg. I have read that. It's a fine plan. Danny Oliver put this plan together. It meets all the state standards. And I know some of you haven't had a chance to read it, but I would entertain a motion tonight that we approve the plan. And then if we have to make any modifications to it, we do it at the March meeting, so we get this. So somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make it.
Motion by John, second by Rich, to tentatively approve the public employer health emergency plan for the town of Warrensburg. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right, you have it in your packet. And like I said, if there's anything glaring, sticks out, please let me know. Next item of business is resolution request to join Warren County in the Community Block Program Grant application for funds to complete an engineering study on expanding the sewer district. We will need to hold a public hearing on February 24th at 4 p.m. in the afternoon to receive public comments. Our goal is to seek out $50,000 in funds to do an engineering study of expanding the sewer district on Burdick Avenue to Skylark Lane and from Sanford Street down to Jenny Joe. Now, let me explain this to you. This is a community block grant opportunity that Warren County is undertaking. Warren County is actually going to put in the application, and the deadline is March 5th. We were going to join into Warren County and be part of the grant, but the state has says, that's fine, but each community has to hold their own public hearing. Warren County has already held the public hearing on submitting it, so that's why we're gonna do the public hearing. The whole idea is there's like 13 properties up there on Burdick and Skylark, Bryant, that never had sewer. We'd like to complete those, and then what we would do, the rest of the engineering money would go towards expanding the district down Library Avenue towards Jenny Joe. Now, we know that there's a lot of properties down there that if we were to expand the sewer down there, we have water down there, perhaps we could do something more with the Hamlet area of the town. So it makes sense to me. I just need permission to have this public hearing on the 24th. I know it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I understand that, but we do need to get it done so I can meet the criteria. So motion?
Yep.
Motion by Rich, second by Brian to hold the public hearing on the 24th and enter into the block grant application agreement with Warren County in the amount of $50,000. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay. Next item of business tonight. The town of Warrensburg now has taken over the cemetery on Hudson Street. And as part of the groundskeeping duties that they do, the Cemetery Association always had a contract with St. Cecilia's Cemetery, which is on the right-hand side going up. It's this little section of the cemetery on the right-hand side going up Hudson Street. So in order to keep that going and maintain what has been kept up in the past, I need a motion to enter into a contract with St. Cecilia Cemetery in the amount of $2,500. And that would be paid annually by that cemetery to the town.
And I'll make that motion, and I'll just also add on the motion that that's just for mowing and trimming,
That's correct.
perpetual care, grave openings, and the like is still hired through our town employee, and that's an extra fee on, this is just for mowing and maintenance.
So I have a motion by John. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Donnie to enter into a contract with St. Cecilia's Cemetery, the amount of $2,500. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Any comments so far? Discussion on highway equipment. We have a chipper it's gets used a lot. It's time to replace it. And we also have an Elgin sweeper that we've talked with Eddie about replacing, and that one would need to be replaced this year. We're talking about doing it anyways. So what I would like to do is package up the chipper, a sweeper, and a single axle plow, which probably wouldn't be delivered until 2022, and combine all those things into one ban or bond. The rates are very, very low now to purchase this equipment. And obviously, everything is purchased off bid. There's already bids on most equipment. I think the chipper was 60,000. The sweeper was like 190, and those dump trucks now are over 200,000, even a single axle. But that includes the single axle with plow and everything. So I would like permission to go ahead and put together a plan, and I would bring it back to the next board meeting on how we would fund these purchases. If that's okay with everybody, that would pretty much bring our fleet, and that would really improve our fleet up there. And we've been very successful on selling equipment on Gov Deals. We had that tractor that we just sold for $6,000 from the Parks and Rec Department, which we thought we were lucky if we were gonna get $3,500 for it, and sold for $6 on Gov Deals. So, I just would like to put this together with Eddie, and then obviously I'll bring it back next month's meeting for a final approval. But I just wanna start to work on this.
Sounds reasonable.
And there again, you know, I mean, Brian, you know the equipment, it's pretty good now.
I will say that in the span that I've been here, working on the board, is, with the purchases of new machinery, you also see the repair costs go down. Because keeping new machinery under you is just more cost effective than having something broke down, break down parts, and old stuff breaks down and it gets expensive. So it's a recyclable world, it's a disposable world these days, even though they're big machines. It's time to get them out of your life and get something better. And it seems like a lot of money. In the long run, I think it works out better.
Okay, so I'll go ahead with that. Resolution to declare 2 items surplus. We have a 1985 John Deere tractor, model 750, and a 2006 Ford F-350 diesel chassis only. Both these items are in the sewer department, and both will be advertised on Gov Deals if you declare them surplus. Somebody want to make a motion to declare them surplus? Motion by John, do we have a second? Second by Rich, to declare those 2 items surplus and put them on Gov Deals. All those in favor say by aye. Aye. Opposed, carried. Okay. We have 3 budget modifications tonight. The first one is to increase parks equipment by $6,000. This is because we sold an old tractor on Gov Deals. So we modified the budget, we recorded it as revenue, and then we increased the equipment budget. And the second one is the highway fund increase of $3,851.19. That's the receipt of grant funds that we got from FEMA for one of the storms. And last but not least, we're taking $11,224 out of sanitary sewers unassigned fund balance, and we're putting it towards the equipment purchase of a new pickup truck, which we just received. So somebody can make a motion to do the budget modifications. Brian, and second by John, to do the budget modifications, 3 budget modifications. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, carried. Next would be pay the warrants on, warrant number 2. The total amount of the warrants is $134,322.43. Any questions on any of the warrants? Motion to approve the warrants. Motion by John, second by Rich, to approve the warrant of $134,322.43. We're a little bit ahead of schedule. Let's go back and look at any of the report. Would anybody care to read the beautification report? Your packet.
I have it right here, Kevin.
You want to read it, Brian?
Sure. As we all know, 2020 has been a challenging year. We have to adapt to the new safety guidelines set forth by the state, county, and ultimately the municipalities. Once the weather warmed up, beautification was up and running with our Arbor Day tree plantings, Green Thumb perennial squash, community garden, and riverfront farmers market. We do dedicated trees to Bob Knowles at the Warren Cannery Park and Kathy Rounds here at the town hall, which is beautifully decorated in purple for her as well. Our perennial swap brought mask wearing, social distancing gardeners to share their freshly dug plants as we all emerged from months of self-quarantine. The community garden saw improvements with a new 3-bin composting system and a pollinator hedgerow complements of Warren County Soil and Water.
grant with the cooperation of the town parks, recreation, and highway department. Youth Works had to cancel their program for the season, but all of the planting beds were maintained as we all worked together separately. The farmer's market was designated essential by the state and allowed for a New York State Ag and Markets COVID-19 guidelines. An increase in both vendors and attendance was experienced, and our festivals were most appreciated and safe. Local harvest dinner at Lizzie Keys was well attended and once again showcased local farms and processors. And even the Christmas in Warrensburg was, even though it was canceled, our wreath and ornament sales continued. The businesses and churches hosted activities. We had a virtual event that highlighted Christmas in Warrensburg past, and the town was flowing thanks to Lisa Alexander and the town DPW. Let us move forward this year with optimism that things will improve once again and be safe for those who live and play in the community and the world.
Want to get Eddie's report?
Sure.
Highway?
I got it right here if you want, Brian.
I have it, it's very. There we go. There we go. So they've been very busy the month and have been plowing and sanding on January 11th, 16th, 17th, 22nd, 26th, and 27th, and February 2nd and 3rd. 3 of the storms were greater than 5 inches of snow, and the other storms were just a dusting of an inch of snow. Between storms, they've been out brushing out on Alden Avenue. They picked up snow in the business district on Main Street and around the elementary school. Checked over all the equipment for daily maintenance. Removed all Christmas decorations throughout the town.
Rich, you want to go ahead with your economic development?
Economic development. It appears that there is a good amount of activity taking place regarding real estate in Warrensburg of late. We are seeing closings take place at an above average pace. On a high note, we have been made aware of the recent purchase of the Merrill McGee by local entrepreneur Ash Anon, and Supervisor Garrity has met with the new owner of the dry cleaners and has been informed that upgrades and improvements are in the works. With these very important properties in good hands with long-term initiatives in place, they both should appreciate success. Several businesses have reported that they have participated in the second round of PPP loans, which has made staying in business a possibility. They have also stated that continued support from the community has been heartwarming. I would ask and recommend that we all try to spend locally, as keeping dollars in the community goes a long way in keeping our businesses here in the community. Regarding our Economic Development Committee, due to COVID-19, we have not met over the last 10 months and are holding our first meeting in 2021 this Friday to evaluate how we can best move forward. We are limiting the number of participants at this meeting, but anticipate being able to hold meetings on a regular basis going forward and invite those who have an interest in participating. Our chamber chair, Susan Tyler, will be an easy contact for those who wish to participate, and she will keep you in the loop as to when our next meeting will be. Our goal is to work with the existing groups to help bring about a positive change to our downtown area in the coming months and years. Thank you.
Okay. John, you want to touch on the lighting and touch on the information?
Sure.
Casey Mastro.
There's an email and that got put in your packets. He and I have been corresponding with Casey Mastro with Power Authority for a little like last several months. Due to COVID, things have slowed down a little bit. But anyway, we see light or LED lights in the tunnel. We're almost able to move forward with the project review. Kevin's been talking to our attorney that's looked over the data, the information they want us to go through, and we're going to give them permission, hopefully, to authorize them to come up and perform some logistics on our lighting district. And it's a win-win situation. We're going to be positive on a monthly basis of between the black on our instead of on the red. We changed to a custom-owned type of American LED. So we're going to be getting there, and that's what I want to say, that hopefully very soon we'll have a resolution going.
I think we can do it tonight if everybody, Bob, late this afternoon, Bob Hafner finished reading over the contract. It doesn't commit us to anything. It just allows the Power Authority to go out and seek grant funding for us and to move ahead with potentially installing LED lights, so I'd like permission to sign the agreement and go ahead. I didn't want to sign it until he went through it, and he did go through it tonight, and he said, I've done some for other towns, and this one was fine.
Need a resolution?
Resolution to sign the agreement with the power.
Yeah, we do.
Motion by John, second by Brian. Any other discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay. That was a late addition. Donnie, can you do the Historian Museum ones? There's two of them. There's in December and January.
January 2021, visitor Stan Soprano came in on Thursday, January 7th, and spent 3 hours with me sorting the Thurman collection. What was not anything to do with Warrensburg or Thurman, as separated by Townsend County, and Stan will be delivering to them. Obituaries, Cody Butler, Roger Collins, Grace Webster, and Dennis Huntley. Meetings, continue collection of COVID-19 articles information. I started notebooks back to February of last year that contain information relating to Warrensburg, along with other articles and cartoons. Zoom meeting of Historical Society on December 2nd. Met with Supervisor Gary, John Alexander, and John Gable to discuss the museum. And volunteer hours with Dot Langley and Sharp Bono. This is December 2020. Visitors, email from Melissa Gary looking for pizza shop next to Angle's department store. Call from Amy Fidine regarding the story she's working on about local industries. I sent her a large packet of information on Warrensburg industries. Call from Tom Randall about Thurman article. Obituaries, Sally Smith, Randy Mosier, Patricia Leonard, Steve Parisi, Michael Lawler, Rose Ale, Rhonda Duell, and Calvin Rusty Duell. Meetings, continued collection of COVID-19 articles and information. Zoom meeting with the Historical Society on December 2nd. Worked on sorting Thurman stuff. Sorted 1963 to 2014 quarterlies. Kept one copy of each for my office, 2 copies for cutting and filing articles, and 5 copies for museum archives. Office hours 23, museum 8, Langley 2, museum Breezy.
Yes, we had a very tough 2 months. We've lost 12 residents from the town. That's a lot for the town of Warrensburg. And our prayers go out to their families. It's been tough. And there's a lot of people we all know in this room. And we are saddened by a loss. But we've been hit particularly hard the last couple months. So, and I appreciate Sandy keeping us informed on the people who passed away recently and all the work she's been doing in her office. We have just 3 more reports, and I have a couple other items I want to address the board. Parks and Rec.
Several snowstorms have kept us busy plowing and keeping sidewalks clean. Maintenance on equipment continues. New LED shop lights were installed in the rec barn and water building, and also a new timer was installed at the town hall for the outside lights. We've been making ice for the ice skaters to use at the rec field. Work has also begun on the beach house, refreshing it up and doing repairs on the building. Wood was ordered and replaced of the decking on equipment trailer has begun.
I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Benjamin Bolton, who reminded me that we needed to make ice at the recreation field. I know they've been working on it. And thanks to Ben for reminding Mr. Garrity that we needed ice at the recreation field. So
And it's a nice ring.
It's coming.
It's a nice ring.
It's coming, yeah.
Benny's not afraid to let me know what we need to do. So shout out to you, Ben, if you're watching tonight. If not, maybe sometime you'll get on YouTube. Any comments so far? Nothing. Okay, we'll go to water report.
Water, February. We had 1 frozen frost plate and multiple calls to shut off water at the street for pipe repairs and plowing. 5 on January 31st due to the below zero weather conditions. There was a call for rusty water on Echo Lake Road. After investigating, we found only 2 homes were occupied on the road. We flushed the line and the water cleaned up. We called out for a fire on the 21st to monitor the wells, make sure the hydrants were operating properly, and turn the water off at the street. New sampling procedures for 2021 has arrived and being reviewed. the operators. The new F-350 has arrived and is waiting to have a plow installed in the town of Warrenburg, decal put on it.
Sewer.
Yes, sir. February sewer report, new diffusers have arrived and assembly has been started so that it be installed in the spring. Issues with the clarity was cleared up, or it could be a problem. We called Cedarwood Engineering and they advised us what to do. Called 266 River Street for a plugged sewer line, found that the homeowner's lateral was plugged. He had snaked out to unclog it. Steve Grime from New York Rural Water was here, to give us advice on doing a risk and resilience report for the EPA.
Last but not least, the enforcement officer. He did a drive around during the day on January 3rd snowstorm to see how many piles of snow were on the sidewalks in the area of travel. He took a call regarding a smoke detector at 46 Library Avenue. There are no commercial inquiries for the month of December. Sent several information packages to clean up a severed Beswick Drive to the owner who was out in Arizona. The owner was concerned that the town went in and cleaned up this property. And we informed the owner that we've had several complaints on the property, and that's why the property was cleaned up and re-levied on his taxes. He's been required to several short-term rentals. I think, Danny, you took a couple, 3 calls on short-term rentals in the last day or two.
Yeah.
So people are still converting properties over into short-term rentals. 2 burn permits were issued on Screw River Road by the town clerk's office. Received a stop work order issue from Warren County Building Codes at 247 River Street. Received an as-built for a septic system put at 337 Pucker Street. Communicated with the town law firm regarding questions pertaining to special use permit. Reviewed information sent to us by the town attorney for items before them, Hamlin expansion code changes and special use permits, and inspected a septic system at 7 Browns Court. So those are the major issues that Jen was involved in. He's been fielding a lot of questions. He was out for 10 days because a family member had COVID, so his office was shut down for 10 days. And we did have some COVID hit us within the building. People have been quarantined. Everybody's back to work now. That's why we are being more stringent with the mask inside the building. Everybody is doing what they should. Some of the items we also worked on, again, as Rich stated, I'd like to wish Ash and Ann and the Lotus Group all the best on their new endeavor of the restaurant up there on Hudson Street. It's very important for the town. Also, North Country Janitorial has purchased the Warrensburg Laundry business on Richards Avenue. They have good plans for the facility in the future. Everybody knows that they had a catastrophic fire down there at Quaker Road not too long ago, so they did disrupt their business. But Matt Montesi, the owner, stopped in to see us, and we're very thrilled that that's going on. Also in the packet tonight for all the town board members, received late today, was a packet of code changes that we plan on acting on, hopefully at our March meeting. They include temporary structures, foreign objects, mobile modular home manufacturing, home definitions, donation bins, and special use permits, along with sale of distressed properties, sunset law for non-conforming use, and last but not least, our Hamlin expansion that we're going to put in front of the APA for the 2 areas of town that we've been working on. So hopefully, at our March meeting, we will concentrate mostly on these things, and I ask everybody on the board to please read the information so you have a pretty good idea of what we're going to discuss at the March meeting. I think it's fair that we set aside one meeting to concentrate on that, other than a lot of other town boards. And Brian being our liaison to planning and zoning, I ask that you please, take a good look
Yeah, we'll look.
at what's forth there. I am excited about, being able to start working with Casey Mastro. We've had this back and forth. If you look at what I gave you, we believe that we could save almost $40,000 a year on these LED lights. And with the solar farm going up at Blister Hill and the revenue we generate from that, it probably is going to cost us less money than that once we get going with these LED lights.
And the technology that you go on and we'll literally see the entire lighting district on a computer screen. And we have control over dimming, powering down certain areas of the district. It's amazing that we can see every single one, if there's an outage or an accident happened, on every single light pole that's live one on. It's amazing how far they come.
And late this afternoon, we received a report on the water tank up there. We had it cleaned and painted this year. There are some things, repairs that we have to do to the water tank. And Tracy's in progress of doing that, replacing anodes. And I think we're gonna have to do some maintenance inside the tank. That tank's been there quite a long time. And we're fortunate that we have taken pretty good care of the tank. But as with anything, they do have a tendency to wear out. So we will go ahead with whatever we need to do. Luckily, our water district is in pretty good shape. Obviously, we're putting aside money to do the transmission line, which is our number one priority to get complete. But we can't let this water tank fall behind. And I just got the report today on the water tank. I think that's all I have for the meeting tonight. Again, I want to thank the town employees for doing a remarkable job. We have not had one case of COVID from any of our employees working out there in the public. We've had to go on quarantine because other people had it, but none of our people have had COVID outside the building. We did have a few cases inside the building, which we're addressing. As I said, everybody's back to work. That's why you can't let your guard down on this COVID. It's still out there, and I know it's frustrating for our senior citizens not being able to find the shots. We thought something would happen at Exit 20 with the state going in there. I got an email tonight from Hudson Headwaters. They don't even have any vaccines coming in for the week of the 20th of February, so they can't even get the vaccines vaccinate the seniors. I just ask everybody to be patient, continue to wear your mask, and operate safely. And with that, I'll turn it over to Donnie. Do you have anything to add tonight?
No, nothing to add.
Brian, any more? No. Rich?
So the special use permits that we talked about having a meeting outside of this to address, is that still pending?
You have it all in your packet tonight. I would like you to take it home and read it. And then if you have any questions on what's in the packet, we can do an outside meeting. But just take the time to read what you got tonight
Thank you.
first, okay? John?
It's just good to be back in circulation. I was in quarantine again for 10 days. And it's nice to be back.
Danny, any comments from the public? None whatsoever. Town clerk, anything to add tonight? Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, and if you have any questions, please feel free to call me at the office, 623-9511, anytime with any questions, and we certainly will get back to you. And I'm happy that the emergency spot is in the fold for another year, and eventually the museum will take care of signing a new contract with the VFW for the museum. So with that being said, motion to adjourn by John. Second, Rich, all those in favor? Aye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.